Up a little bit in the next hour or two, might get up to mid-20s.
Let's have a look at the field for this 5,000. Sinclair Johnson is the pacemaker there, left of picture. Elise Cranny is there too. Tshegai, watch Gudaf Tshegai, the world champion at 10,000 meters from Budapest, fourth fastest in history. Taye is there as well, fifth in Budapest. Chebet, Beatrice Chebet, well, the bronze medalist in Budapest, won the 3,000 in Xiamen last week in a personal best, world #1 over 5,000 meters. Won by 4 seconds there. Lorraine Hailu, by the way, is a non-starter. There is Alicia Monson. She's the fastest ever non-African athlete, non-African-born athlete at 5,000 meters. Her best in 14:19 in London back in late July at the Diamond League there. Tanaka, Nozomi Tanaka, 8th in Budapest. Fabulous 24-year-old Japanese athlete. 3rd in Brussels and a personal best just a week or so ago in 14:29. Rengaruk is there as well, 10th in Budapest, the Kenyan champion. So is Frejge of the USA, 4th in the US 10,000 meter championship. She's a 14:53 athlete. And Berke Heilum, 9th in the Budapest 1500, but I don't think this will be slow. They are looking for a pace of around 14 minutes, which would be the world record. The world record, just let me remind you, by Faith Kipyegon in Paris back on the 9th of June, 14:05. Can anybody in this field? And remember, Tshegai is strong and very fast as well. Hasn't raced since Budapest. Tshegai may be focusing upon this one for something historic. Well, a great deal depends upon good pacemakers when you're chasing world records. There's whispers of a very fast 3,000 coming up later on from Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who so nearly broke the world mile record yesterday on this glorious track. But they go off at a good, steady tempo, and it is Sinclair Johnson who leads, along with Elise Cranny. And the responsibility for them, Steve, is to take them around at 2:48 for the first kilometre, so around 67 seconds per lap. It's very, very fast indeed. But if they can hit that, then I think Tsegai's got the strength to take it through the second half herself.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, Tim, as you mentioned. Is Tshegai really going to have a go at a world record here? I think one thing that might give us an indication she wants to go quick, they've added Heilom, who ran in the 1500 yesterday, you know, the youngster I said I'm very impressed with. But when she ran that big 10,000 to get herself ready for the World Championships, Heilom did some of the pacemaking in that race. So I think Heilom's been brought in today, after her 1500 run yesterday, to perhaps help Tshegai, maybe in the middle of the race when the pacemakers drop out. We'll wait and see, but there's so much good Ethiopian talent in here. It's going to be quick one way or the other. It's just, can Tshegai go? Certainly sub 14:10. Can she get close to the world record?
Wouldn't it be interesting? Heilom, the world under-20 1500-meter champion in Cali, Colombia. Last year, she's strong too for a 1500-meter athlete. She was 2nd in the world cross-country in Bathurst, Australia, back in February. Indeed, she was 6th in that 1500 yesterday in 3:56 and is world #4. There she's slotted in 3rd place, just in front of Gudaf Tshegai, who has a lovely, towy, galloping style, even at this tempo. But you know it's quick when they're reduced to single file like this very early on. Tanaka of Japan, back in about 8th or 9th place, will hang on as long as she can. And in effect, this great pacemaking job being done so far is to the benefit of all this field. It's a case of how long can you hang in there? Catch me if you can, a little bit like the mile yesterday, where, of course, as he predicted, Ingebrigtsen was indeed the pacemaker for Negus and everybody else behind him. Can you believe the first 11 in that mile yesterday broke 3:50 for the mile? Unprecedented strength in depth here at Haywood Field.
Well, Tshegai, you know, if you look back at her 1500-meter career, how many times did she go out really hard and you know, she will always like to commit, get ahead of the clock almost, get ahead of the lights as we would have now. And today, she's actually 8:26 through 3K. And I think that's because she's worried it might go slow in the 4th K, and can she then finish quickly? Because the danger of going really quick through 3 kilometers is that you just cannot come back from that. So would she have been better maybe going 2-3 seconds quicker and trust her 1500 background? If you remember though, Tim, she didn't bounce back in Barcelona, excuse me. Budapest very well, did she? Won the 10 and was pretty awful in the 5,000, to be honest.
Yeah, she was 13th in the 5,000. Good point, Steve, although the 10, maybe that extreme heat and humidity was what really sapped her. That would be forgivable, obviously. Brilliant pacemaking, by the way, from Sinclair Johnson. 2:48.08 at 1K. A 67.3 that lap to take them through to 1K. So superb metronomic running at the moment. Elise Cranny taking it out now with Halom in second. Tsegay there in third place, deep in concentration. Tsegay, a fabulously fast 1,500-meter runner. Remember, holds the world record for 1,500 indoors with 3:53. That from a couple of years back. It is quick. Gaps appearing already with 3.5 laps done and a 67.6. Brilliant pacing.
Men's long jump. Simon Ehammer had an awful World Championships. He had 2 no jumps in the first 2 rounds. He put a safe one in the third. It wasn't good enough, though, to get him 3 more jumps. So he'll want to perform better here today. That's a good start. There's no Tentoglu here, no Pinnock, the top 2 in the world. But Ehammer with a very decent start. That looked well beyond 8 meters for the multi-eventer, who's now concentrating on the long jump, certainly this season. It looks as though he's going to take an early lead in this men's long jump final. 8:12 confirmed for the big Swiss man, and he'd be very happy with that. That's a good start.
Well, they come through with Elise Cranny still pacemaking brilliantly here in this 5,000 meters. And I think we can say quite legitimately it is a world record attempt. 67.4, that one. Metronomic running. Halom in second place, knows she's got a job to do. Back in third place is Tsegay, then Chebet. What's Chebet? Don't discount her. The bronze medalist at the World Championships in Budapest. Took a silver medal here last year at the World Championships in Eugene. And won that 3,000 in Jamen last week in a very quick 8:24. So she's in fine fettle as Cranny moves aside. Now Halom, as Steve rightly predicted, taking the lead. And they go through 2K in 5:37. They were looking for 5:36, but that is good enough. Almost spot on that split at 2K with Halom now. A critical job to do here in this middle section of the race. The longer she can go on and stay on quick schedule, with the big 2 now well separated from the rest. Remember, Tsegay there, the world 10,000-meter champion in second. Beatrice Chebet, one of the quickest in the world this year at 3,000 meters, back in third place. If Halom can take them through here to, say, 3K, 3.5K, that maybe will project them to something special in the last mile or so. So these 3 easing away.
Men's long jump. Ehammer leading with that first round jump of 8:12. And this is Hashioka, number 2 Japanese long jumper, really. Oh, that's good. Well, he's only just gone over 8 meters this year. Former world junior champion. I was mentioning Yoshida's really the number 1 Japanese long jumper at the moment. But perfect on the board there for Hashioka. 8:10, well, close, not quite taking the lead, but moves them into second place. Season's best.
Six laps to go then in this women's 5,000 meters, and still Halom leads. They went through 2K in 5:37. That was a 2:49 after 2:48 opener, but the lap times are coming out just perfectly. 67, 67, 67. The last 5 laps have been 67 and bits. And Halom here, Steve, doing a brilliant job just when it's needed.
It's just quick. As I said, Tim, I mean, she's an incredibly talented youngster, Halom, but is doing her best here. But because she's done this before for Tsegay, and you're 100% right, do not write off Chebet. She's a massive talent and is quick on the last lap, Chebet, as well. So Tsegay doesn't have that pace in her legs anymore and has got them going. Remember that great race with Kip Yegon and Let's Bet Gide in Paris? Are we going to be heading with something similar here Tim, they need to be, as you said, 8:36. They're thereabouts. Sorry, a bit quicker than that, but they. If they are on schedule through, oh, she's going to pull out. I was just wondering, I was going to say, if she could just get maybe another lap and a half, 2 laps, then it wouldn't really drop the pace, but sadly it looks as though she's done.
Well, that is just about perfect. Another 2:48 there, that third kilometre. 8:26 at 3,000 metres. Remember when Kipyegon ran the 14:05 world record in Paris back in early June? It was a very, very warm day, possibly too warm for perfect conditions, but these conditions are supreme here, and she'll never get a better opportunity than this, Tsegay, although she has got a long way to go now. 4.5 laps to run through this second half of the race. Bouncing along though still, isn't she, Tsegay? Looking very, very relaxed. Now she has to make a decision here. Does she press on for the world record and maybe drag Chebet to victory and a world record, or does she go for the win? I hope it's the former. I hope here she really does push on with her strength and her aggression. We know she's fresh. She hasn't raced since Budapest, when she looked tired in the 5,000 metres after her 10,000 metres gold. They come through here. Now watch this lap. They've been lapping in 67. If this one is significantly slower, then it just shows how athletes can switch off and ease back on the throttle when they when the pacemaker drops out. 68.26, that one. That's the second slowest lap of the race.
Yeah, I was watching the lights. We can see them a little bit better. It was interesting. We were chatting to Ingebrigtsen yesterday, and he said, I couldn't really see the lights. You know, it's bright, it's sunny, but you can see the lights are just moving ahead of Tsegay now. And Chebet looks to me as though she's enjoying this. She's kind of staying with this pace, not comfortably. This is hard. This is just right around world record pace, but it's just slipping a little bit. And Tsegay, like you said, Tim, it must be thinking, I've got Chebet here, what am I going to do? The point, though, is that these two can lift. They can lift the pace in the last kilometre, and if the two of them are together, then we could still be in for something special here.
I just got the impression down the back straight there that Tsegay lengthened her stride a little bit. She's trying to stretch Chebet here. She knows that Chebet, the Kenyan, trailing her, who's got the perfect pacemaker through these latter stages, has got the big kick. Beatrice Chebet, just half a stride behind, hasn't had to do any leading yet. You can see Tsegay there, the grimace, with 3 laps to go as she comes through. She's working hard, there's no doubt about that, but this is where the questions are asked, and this is where you've got to dig deep. This is where you can build towards a world record, or you can let the opportunity slip away. Is she going to push hard again here on this lap as she approaches 4K at the top end of the back straight now? She knows, she will be well aware that Chebet is there, but she will sense the Kenyan there, even if she hasn't had sight of her.
I remember saying in Paris, Tim, that if Kipyegon was near 11:15, 11:16, she's got a chance. Well, look at that, 11:16. They're right on this. They've got a huge opportunity. Look at Tsegay. She's just seen that. She saw the clock stop at that time, and it's almost given her that little bit of impetus. She's going to come around with just 2 laps to go this time, and Chebet, for the first time, looks under real pressure here.
Well, she's got the reward for hard work for these last 3 or 4 laps as Tsegay, the world champion at 10,000 metres. We knew she was super fast, but we know too that she's got enormous strength, and she's playing to that at the moment. Testing Chebet here. From 3 laps out, she started accelerating, and she's winding it up, and she will get extra adrenaline. She'll get that drive, that surge of excitement, knowing she's broken the Kenyan and into the back straight, and the crowd here are loving it in Hayward Field. They've been kept abreast of the chance of a world record over the 12.5 laps in the glorious sunshine of this supreme venue. A lap and a half to run, still bouncing. Many coaches would say bounces too much, a lot of vertical movement, but it matters not. She could be heading towards a world record here. A lap and a half to go. She's got separation. It's going to be very, very close indeed. I don't think the 14-minute barrier is going to go, but is she going to get that world record? Remember, the figure she's looking for, 14:05.20.
Calling it early here, Tim. She's going to do it. I'm pretty sure. Crowd already on their feet. She is moving beautifully well. We'll be able to pick it up a little bit as well. You mentioned the 14 minutes. She's not going to be too far away from that, I don't think. She needs to run 65 for the last lap, and we could see a sub-14 minute. We are going to see a world record, though.
Well, barring disaster, she's on the way to a world record here. It's good up Tsegay. The world champion at 10,000 meters could be heading towards a 5,000 meters world record. She's broken the stubborn resistance of Kenya's Beatrice Chebet. Down the back straight now. I was going to say in glorious isolation, but she's lapping athletes. The crowd loving it. They're on their feet here in Haywards Field. She's still grimacing. Chebet in the background can only admire this from afar as she heads into the final 200 meters. She has that superb speed endurance. Remember, she's the world record holder for 1,500 indoors. 150 to run. The crowd willing her on. Watch the clock. 14:05 she needs. 100 to run. And it's going to be mighty close to 14 minutes. Can we see not only the world record broken here, but a historic barrier as well? The clock is ticking. 55, 56. It's going to be oh so close. I think she's just going to miss 14, but she smashes. She pulverizes the world record. 14:00.21 is confirmed for Guda Segai. The 26-year-old etches her name in the annals of history at this oh so difficult distance, the meeting ground of middle distance and long distance, and that is what it does to you. Chebet there in second place, laying on the ground, trying to recover. And Segai, well, she deserves that lift, she really does. Brilliant pace-making from Sinclair Johnston and Elise Cranny, the US pairing, to set that one up. And Steve, that's not even close. That is what you call pulverizing a world record. She's taken 5 seconds off that world record.
Well, what a year we've all had watching the middle and long distances being pulled apart by these incredible athletes. Segai won the 5,000 world title on this track last year. That was a massive day for her. And then she took the 10,000 meter title in Budapest. And don't forget, she moved up because she felt as though she couldn't contest the 1,500 against Kipyegon, against Hassan and others, and has found the fact that she is not only capable of winning the championships, but now here, smashed, as you said, obliterating the world record. Chebet was just outside the old world record as well, and was 30-40 meters behind. Well, this crowd have been, well, they've seen some incredible distance running over the years. They've been brought up on the whole Prefontaine legend, but I'm not sure many of them will have witnessed anything like that.
It is special, isn't it? And what a shame she couldn't quite dip under the 14-minute barrier. That remains tantalizingly close and surely will go next year. The psychological barriers are being broken down race after race in this era of better technologies. Never mind about the physical barriers, the physical challenges against the clock. Now women will believe that 14 minutes, the 14-minute barrier is attainable. And it was so nearly attained by this very special athlete today. Yeah, fully recovered, all smiles, and that is the banker shot, isn't it?
Takes a lot, Tim. I mean, you'll know as well. You know, when you set it up, and as soon as I saw Halon was on the start list this morning, you're thinking, okay, she knows that she's ready for this. She knows she's going to go for it, because Chebet was there for a long, long time. You're running world record pace, and you've still got somebody sitting on your shoulder, a bit like we had with Ingebrigtsen and Nagus yesterday. And then your brain starts to go, hang on, I've got to win this first. But once she'd got the gap, it was almost like it just gave her an injection of extra fuel, and away she went and just continued to go away and was getting stronger and stronger. And as you said, maybe the 14 minutes for another day, who knows, maybe we're being a little bit greedy there, but that was incredible.
She's still galloping down the home straight. She's such a beautiful looking runner. Poetry in motion there, grimacing from the neck up, but still moving so smoothly, so fluidly through the last lap and down the home straight to that fabulous mark, 14:00.21. Really does mark it as the performance of this Diamond League finals 2 days so far.
Well, she's coached by her husband. You saw him on the track there, absolutely delighted. Lives in Addis Ababa, and that will make massive headlines back home, guarantee you. Well done to Chebet as well. It's tough, isn't it, when you nearly break the world record and are so far behind. And then the others were a fair way distant after that.
Yeah, the place time still very strong. Third, Taye, 1-2-1-3 rather for Ethiopia. Taye 14.21 in third place, but the length of the home straight and more behind Tsegay. It went to Ethiopia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Kenya, Ethiopia, Japan. Tanaka down in sixth place with 14.42.